let's go with a question from Patrick Dion Cuno over on Facebook. He wants to know, how many pleats does a typical kilt have?
An 8-yard kilt would have typically 30-ish pleats. So maybe 32, maybe 28, somewhere in that kind of range. If the set size is a little bit bigger, it might have 26. If the set size is smaller, it might have 34. But it should have a reasonable number of plates. Now, if you are a really, really, really big guy and it's a 10-yard kilt, it may have 35 or 40 plates. If you're a super small guy and it's, a reasonable size set, maybe it's only 23 plates or 22 plates. I wouldn't get too hung up on the number of pleats as long as the overall look looks good. There should be a reasonable number and a reasonable width. So you want the face of the plate, the part that you're seeing on an 8-yard kilt, to be under an inch. So 3/4 of an inch or so. It's maybe up to 0.9, maybe down to 0.6, but somewhere in that range for the width of a plate, and then stacked up across the back, that'll give, generally speaking, about 30 plates. Mac.
Yeah, I mean, that's our goal every time we do a TS8 or an 8-yarder is 30 pleats is where we're trying to end up. And we're usually somewhere between 27, 32, depending on again, the set size and the size of the person. But yeah, 30 is about where we head to.
Now, on a 5-yard kilt, what would you say the average is? Because the pleat width on a 5-yarder is 1 to 1.1 ish is about the max.
I'd say we're
20,
probably
22.
Yeah, 25 at max if it's a bigger guy.
Yeah.
And then casual would be even less than that because now we're looking at an inch and a half wide pleat. So, now we're looking at 18 somewhere in that ballpark, maybe less.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all going to be relative to the size of the person and the set size. So that's going to be the two big factors.
Yep. And the amount of cloth that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have Aberdeen or Wilson or something like that, where it's an 18-inch or a 20-inch set size, we're going to have to make up a set or the pleat's going to be 2 inches wide and there's going to be 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's all a balancing act. The things you have to account for are the size of the set, the size of the individual, meaning their waist and hip measurements, the size of the face of the pleat, how deep each pleat's going to be. So yeah, and how much cloth you physically have sitting in front of you to make the kilt. So we could make a 10-yard kilt for a guy with a 36-inch hip, and each pleat's going to be 0.4 inches, but that's too much.
Casey will love that.
Yeah. Oh, Casey. So cool. Hope that helps. 1 pleat. 2 pleats. That's a horrible count impersonation. But I want to know, count your pleats on your kilt. Let me know in the comments, how many pleats on average does your kilt have?